Writing a college or high school election speech can be a particularly daunting task if you haven't written one before and don't know where to start. But with the right framework to build off of, it's actually surprisingly easy and will have a major impact on the outcome of the election. Today on Dorm Room Leadership, we'll discuss components of a successful election speech and a template for you to work off of. Now, before we get started, I really want to harp on just how important the creation of a well-crafted speech is. In elections that are close or where the club members don't know either candidate very well, it's a matter of life and death. Having a well-written speech will show the constituency that you're not some late write-in candidate scribbling notes down on the back of a napkin, but a statesman the likes of which these continental United States have not seen since the great Calhoun, Webster, and Clay. It will also show you will dedicate the time needed to do things properly and are well prepared. Two important traits for a club leader. Okay, so when beginning your speech, you obviously first start off with your name and some basic background on yourself. If you're funny, work in some humor. If you're not, well, don't pick this time to try and prove that you are. This is, however, the perfect time to talk up your previous involvement in the club and how dedicated and knowledgeable you are about it. Once this foundation is laid, out comes the hook. Just like your third grade writing teacher told you, every good essay, and in this case speech, needs an opening to grab people's attention and rope them in. The nature of the hook will obviously change depending on the gravity of the election and the position, but I like to make mine pretty powerful and sometimes dramatic. Something about the future of the club at stake or being at a pivotal crossroads, blah blah, some stuff like that. Again, it's all about reading the situation. With the attention of the room in the palm of your hand, you can now segue into all the improvements you think could be made to the club. This is where your prior networking and research will really come in handy, as you need to make sure everything you suggest is in line with the sentiment of the club members and is exactly what they want. Focus on high impact areas such as programming and benefits for members. Just remember not to be a scummy politician and make sure you can actually deliver on these commitments instead of promising the moon and delivering a pile of garbage instead. In any case, one of the main outcomes of this section that you absolutely need to achieve is the idea that you are a problem solver and a man or woman of action. Clubs need leaders who are movers and shakers, and that needs to be the portrayal of yourself that you leave club members with at the end of your speech. So make sure you present both defined problems and concrete solutions, as well as a clear plan of action. These are absolutely vital to the development of this persona. After showing the club they have problems and you are the grand inquisitor of problem solving, you need to back this up with your skill set. Elaborate on your previous experiences, talk about your pertinent skills, and mix in a splash of results you've achieved to prove that you can not only whip up a kick-ass speech, but also back up your promises. As your speech now begins to wind down, carve out some time to explain exactly why you would like the privilege of serving in this position. Side note, this piece can also go at the beginning of the speech, or you can have it in both places by circling back to it at the end in a poetic fashion. Any of the three choices works depending on how your speech shapes up. During this time, make sure you really connect with the club members and show them how much the club means to you. This can sound kind of sappy and trite if it's canned, so make sure you mean it when you say it. Now, to finish things off, I like to end on a dramatic note. Again, that could just be me, but I find too often than not that club elections are drab events filled with boring speeches jotted down at the last minute and can use some spice. So stir up some excitement at the end, circling back to how the club is at a great crossroads. By choosing you, the club will flourish for centuries to come, and everyone will graduate with 4.0 GPAs, find million-dollar jobs, and retire at 25. Or, if you're not a maniac like me, tell them the club will expand dramatically, resolve issues that have arisen in the past, and provide immense value to club members. The end. So in review, we had the following 8 steps. Your previous involvement, opening hook, you see room for improvement in the club, you want to be a problem solver, give examples of problems and exactly how you would solve them, detail your skills and how they will help you, why you are interested in the position, and end on a high note stimulating excitement about the future of the club. If you've enjoyed this episode, please do me a mighty fine favor and softly tap that like button and or subscribe. See you next time on Dorm Room Leadership.